So, see, let's talk about the color of the leaves. Here you find a light green color, a green which is partly red, getting brownish, deep brown, a little reddish, small and deep brown or reddish brown, whatever. What is the significance of these colors? Two things we can derive from this aspect. Uh, I hope people at the back can also see. Otherwise, you can take turns to come in back and forth. Firstly, if we have leaves which are fairly green or which are almost the color as you expect it to be when they are on the bush, we try to see the shade of a green. So we don't have a very good another example, but there will be other green teas if you notice, which will be a darker green than this, not the lighter there. So if let's say two teas are almost from the same area, from the same place, from the same season, one is a lighter green and the other is a darker green. We're just talking about the leaves yet. We're not talking about the color in the cup. It signifies that the leaves which are a lighter green, they be plucked younger. The more the leaves mature, they turn to be a darker green. Would the term first flush used for them or no? First flush is something entirely different. Still some to this when we are talking about Darjeeling and the seasonal aspect. That reflects that sort of indicates the season, the seasonality of the tea, right? So that is one thing that you know about from the color of the tea. The second thing is, let's say if the leaves are identical, here they are not, but still you know that the colors are so different. What is it that makes the color so different? That is the process of fermentation or oxidation. So anything which is not red, which is more green, shows the absence of that fermentation. Yes, and anything which is becoming more red is the fermentation has been carried to a greater degree. How does it change the tea? That is your major difference between a green tea and a black tea. So a green tea is more green. This is not fermented. So essentially, we expect that the color of the leaves of the green tea to be almost the same as they were in the bush. Even the color has changed a little bit. The chemical composition of the leaves, they have to be, it is assumed that it is going to be the same as what it was when it was on the tea bush. The process of oxidation or fermentation gives birth to the black teas. So here you have a different process, but it's not a coincidence that when you ferment or when you oxidize these D-radifer, you bring about, you develop new compounds, you develop new, complex molecules, which result in the characteristic of those teas, which they are known for. So you're not interested in just hypothetically creating a fermented tea and a non-fermented tea. We are here talking about the cup quality. So the fermented teas usually are darker, heavier, stronger in taste as compared to green teas, which are like a little raw, lacking that flavor, intensity, mild, sometimes could be bitter. Whereas the same kind of tea, which is bitter when it is green, is not really bitter, it's probably more rounded, but has a kind of a heavier base. So this is one thing which needs to be appreciated. Now we come to some of the teas that we have here in the middle, especially these three. If you focus on these three teas, they are the high-grown teas. One of them happens to be from Nilgiri and the other two are from Darjeeling, but broadly you can say they are in the same category. Here you can see from the color of the leaves, the level of fermentation is again different, whereas this is a very light fermentation. And this is also from Darjeeling, fermented much more, and correspondingly there will be a difference in the taste besides other things. But we're trying to sort of make it simple of how one single aspect of production or processing gives rise to difference in the taste and quality. This particular tea is from South India, which is again like high grown, and you can see they've chosen to ferment it in such a way that sometimes, the stems, they turn red, but the leaves remain a little green. So it's just a technique that has been developed over the years. What are we trying to do? We're trying to have a fermentation to a degree where the complete greenish character is not there. Partially,